Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Daily Compliance News for April 29, 2020, the Alex O. out at the SEC edition. And we begin with that story from Radical Compliance, although it was broken on, Matt refers to a story on Bloomberg. Alex O. has resigned after less than 1 week on the job, apparently because of 2 issues. One was some kerfuffle at a deposition where she accused a opposing lawyer of some unethical conduct or other untoward actions. And second, because of her work at Paul Weiss and representing corporate defendants. As Matt notes succinctly, liberal groups opposed O because of her history of representing Exxon and other corporate clients. And these groups don't seem to appreciate that lawyers can represent multiple groups over their career because that's what we do. As to the actions at the deposition, she apparently called her opposing counsel agitated, disrespectful, and unhinged. Yet a court found this to be objectionable. Well, for all the lawyers out there, I don't know about you, but I've been called a lot worse in depositions. Nevertheless, a very interesting development. You would have assumed that she would have been thoroughly vetted by Gary Gensler and the Biden administration. I, for one, could see a former corporate lawyer being an extraordinarily tough regulator. Next up, for Jay Rosen and the twins and Rebecca, Disneyland is reopening. You have to be a California citizen to be able to get a ticket, and it will be limited capacity with masks, but the original Disney property is reopening, and I know that will be welcome news to many. So congratulations for Disneyland being reopening. Disney World, of course, being in Florida, has been open for almost a year now. From Bloomberg, the president gave a essentially State of the Union or State of the First 100 Days address last night in Congress, and one can only say, thank God Joe Biden is president now. He had a can-do attitude. He talked about a unity vision with the rich paying their fair share and a upgrade or change in the American psyche that sadly was missing on the prior administration. As he said, America is on the move again, turning peril into possibility, crisis into opportunity, and setback into strength. So, great speech from Joe Biden. His 100 days have been an incredibly fruitful time for America and to put us back on track against the foibles of the prior administration. And finally, for those of you who have been on the internet for quite some time, it looks like Verizon is going to sell both AOL and YaHoo. These were 2 of the original internet service providers way back when we had dial-up service, and I, for one, still have one of my original AOL accounts from the early 90s. So it's a sad end to businesses that couldn't seem to grow and change with the times, yet when they began were truly cutting edge. So a good lesson for all of us.
The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.